United Cerebral Palsy on the Potomac, also known as UCP, and Sunrise Community of Maryland supports individuals with a wide array of disabilities, including, but not limited to, cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, and autism spectrum disorders. UCP offers vocational programs to prepare each individual for supported employment. Our client is currently employed at a MedStar Health Hospital, a not-for-profit organization. We specifically worked with MedStar Southern Maryland Hospital in Clinton, Maryland.
Yumia Williams, our client, is a dedicated volunteer at MedStar. She works Wednesdays from 10 to 2.
Around the hospital, she's part of the staff. Everybody loves her here. Everybody knows her. She come every Wednesday. She get greeted upstairs at the front desk, even in the back at the volunteer section. They just love her, and she's not here. The following Wednesday, they will ask her, "Where were you? We missed you." So, yeah.
She has been ripping visitor bands for the hospital for many years. These visitor bands are necessary for keeping track of the people in the building every day. Yumia is a valued worker at the MedStar Southern Maryland Hospital. Each time she rips an overabundance of bands. She knows she could do much more with extra time, and the hospital found another job for her, filling envelopes.
There are two types of envelopes to fill, one squat and one long. The squat one gives you many difficulties. The side flaps are extremely long compared to the envelope itself, which creates the opposite effect of a funnel. Lining up both sides of the thick card with the flaps requires a lot of precision and is very difficult in general, even more so for someone without fine motor skills such as Yumia. Many times, the sides will tear in the effort, making the envelopes deemed unusable by the hospital. Yumia really wants to be able to complete this second task successfully and efficiently, so that she can help the hospital in another way. Our first prototype was constructed out of foam and wooden dowel rods. 2 foam wedges were attached to a rigid frame in order to be pushed under the flaps. There was also a holder for the envelope so both hands could be used to slide the card into the envelope. With our first prototype, Yumia still had trouble with trying to get the card under the side flaps, but once she accomplished that, she was able to easily push the card in. Our next prototype was made out of wood. It had one rigid wedge to be aligned and one to be slid under sideways, a design based off observations of Yumia using our first prototype. The bottom of the wedge was sanded into a curve to make it easier to slide the card under. The holder also had a ramp-like top, so the card could be simply dropped in. With this, she was able to align one wedge and simply slide the other wedge sideways under a second flap. Then, she just inserted the card and pushed it in. Unfortunately, Yumia did not get the opportunity to test our final prototype. The final prototype is also made out of wood. Unlike the previous prototype, the wedges are stationary and the range of movement is also more limited. This will allow for greater accuracy when inserting the card into the envelope, because she no longer needs to try to align the wedges with the side flaps. This also cut down the time, since most of the time Yumia took in the previous versions was spent aligning the wedges. With the versions that Yumia tested, there was no tearing at all. However, the first prototype increased the time it took to fill the envelope from 54 seconds to 1 minute 42 seconds. But with the second version, it only took her 57 seconds. She was also able to fill many more envelopes. Without the prototype, she was only able to fill 1 to 3 envelopes, but she was able to fill 6 with the second prototype. The prototype did not require as much aligning or intense focus, making it less tiring. The final version is certain to increase her speed even more.
This device can be easily modified to fit different shaped and sized envelopes to further employment. Many companies need to send out information to their large number of consumers. For example, cell phone service providers send out bills and department stores send out special deals to its reward card members. An at-home envelope stuffing job pays about $50 per 100 envelopes. Working for only 1 hour a day, people like Yumia could make $31.58 per day. And if they worked 5 days a week for only 1 hour a day, they would earn about $221.05 a week.
Yumia really wanted to be able to do a new job, and we really wanted to help her. Seeing her able to do it made all of us happy.